all my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So guys, today's pick a card reading is going to be super fun, juicy, and spicy. And what's even more than that is that you're going to be able to select two groups, making this reading highly personalized and accurate, which is precisely how we're going to receive all of the divine messages that the universe and your spirit guides have for you about who you're going to marry, when you're going to marry them, and all of the ins and outs of your relationship. And of course, I want to point out to you that this reading is for everyone, so it doesn't matter what your preference is in love. If you're interested in finding out who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, then this video is for you. It's truly as simple as that. So let me explain to you how this video works before we get into it, so you can make sure that you get the best use out of your tarot card reading. So for the first part of this pick a card reading video, you get to pick one of these four groups. And during this first part, we are going to be delving into the personality traits. We're going to figure out all the little details about your relationship, your interests and hobbies, and the dynamic of your relationship. And then once you have received this first part of your reading, you get to scroll down into the description box where you get to receive the second part of your reading, which is based on your zodiac sign. And during the second part of your reading, which is based on your zodiac sign, we're going to be figuring out exactly when you're going to get married, what your spouse's zodiac sign will be, as well as letters of their name, and so much more. So in case you haven't noticed, this video is designed to give you life, honey. The energy, vibe, and the aesthetics of my channel are not only here to be visually pleasing, but also to be emotionally healing and supportive to you. So if you're all about that, make sure that you hit that subscribe button in order to never miss another reading. So allow me to introduce you to the four groups that you first get to pick from in order to receive the first part of your prediction. Group number one corresponds to the Gentle Heart Tarot deck as well as the Black Obsidian Crystal. Group number two corresponds to the Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides Oracle cards, as well as the Orange Calcite. Group number three corresponds to the Tazama African Tarot, as well as the Rose Quartz Crystal. And group number four corresponds to the Affirmations Tarot, as well as the Aquamarine Crystal. As already mentioned, the timestamps to all four groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as the timestamps to each and every zodiac sign's personal reading. So I would highly recommend that you start your reading off with one of these four groups and then close it off listening into your zodiac sign's marriage prediction. That way you can get the full scope, as I will be focusing on different aspects of your love life as well as your marriage during each part of the individual readings. So now I will provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on these four groups. You can pause the video if you feel like. Do whatever you need to do in order to get the most out of this reading. That is exactly what I created it for. I'll speak to you momentarily. So by now, you've hopefully been able to pick one of these four groups to start off your readings with. So I will be starting off your marriage predictions with the first group, which corresponds to the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, as well as the Black Obsidian Crystal. So if this is the group that you chose, you can continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number one, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Black Obsidian Crystal as well as the Gentle Heart Tarot deck. Let me give you a little insight on both of these objects. So the Black Obsidian Crystal is a crystal that helps absorb any type of negativity, negative energies or entities, and that helps protect you from electromagnetic frequencies, also known as EMFs. So this is a great stone to keep near any type of electronic devices that you may have. I'll put your crystal right up here, but you may have also felt drawn to it because of its exterior appearance. Either way, the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, on the other hand, is a tarot deck that I authored. I will leave the link to it down below in the description box. This is how it looks like. So it comes all shrink wrapped and so on. Don't mind this one being a little beat up because I did travel with it, but this is just to give you an idea how your tarot deck will arrive arrive if you order it. So everything is protected in this magnetic box when you order my tarot deck. And it also comes with a free rose quartz heart with every single order. So the link is down below in the description box for that. I am so proud of this tarot deck that I was able to create and publish on my own, and I know so many of you love this deck, which may be exactly why you chose it, group number 1. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly who you're going to marry. We'll be starting off talking about their personality, what they love about you and your relationship, and what the dynamic is like. First up, we have the 4 of Diamonds. So the person who you're going to end up marrying, group number 1, is someone who is very good when it comes to their money. They're very good at saving, and they're definitely someone who does not like to splurge too much, okay? So they're a penny pincher, but in the sense of wanting to ensure that you have enough financial equity left for the bigger things, like getting a vehicle, owning a house, investing in things that have longevity. They don't like fast fashion or anything that kind of drains money out of the relationship unnecessarily and has no longevity. I can see here in the Ace of Cups, group number 1, that this person who you're going to marry is someone who you have not met yet. This is going to be a completely new flame, if you will, a new twin flame, a new soulmate, not someone who is already in your life, as the Ace of Cups stands for new beginnings emotionally, new beginnings when it comes to love. Furthermore, in the 3 of Crystals, I see that you're going to leave a lot of the old you behind once you enter into this relationship, and once you actually enter into this marriage, you will leave even more things behind that used to be the old you. So maybe in the past, if this wand, if this crystal stands for you spending money on things that are trendy, you're leaving that in the past, as they're teaching you that quality over quantity is always better. And furthermore, in the 2nd crystal that you're turning your back on, as we can see here, because you're only taking this crystal with you, you're turning your back on anyone who isn't supportive about your marriage and your relationship, or anyone who you've always felt has been more jealous rather than supportive of what's going on in your private life. In the 6 of Crystals, I see that you will be victorious during this approach to leaving the unnecessary or the unhelpful behind. Group 1, this may further be a reason why you chose the black obsidian, why you felt intuitively drawn to this crystal, because you're clearing out any type of toxicity. Your marriage is going to be one that thrives because you're getting rid of anything that doesn't serve your marriage and your relationship, and you're getting rid of anything that clearly just interferes with that happiness. So if you agree with that, if this is something that you're looking forward to, then ensure that you leave a little diamond or crystal emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is how you feel, group number 1. But now let's move further into your reading so we can figure out a little more about your marriage and what it's going to be like. In Thanatos, I can see that it will be a completely fresh chapter in your life. It's going to be nothing like what you have experienced prior to receiving this reading and prior to any other marriages or relationships that you may have been in. So it's a completely fresh start. We spoke about that in the Ace of Cups as well. And I can see here within a that it's really going to be an eye-opening experience, a very eye-opening marriage where you finally feel like your worth and your value is being seen. And again, you can leave a lot of traumas from past relationships behind, and you can leave those traumas in a place where they're not affecting you moving forward. In the Mountain, I can also see here that your relationship is one that is really, really protected. And by the relationship being protected, I mean you don't leak information to any outside sources. Group number 1, what happens in the marriage stays in the marriage, and the only person who you would share extra information with, or who you would talk to about any struggles that you may be going through in your marriage, is either your partner or, for example, a therapist. But you don't play when it comes to your marriage, group number 1, and you're going to ensure that you only share what's necessary with others, especially if you're going through a tough time, that you don't get other people involved. In the Gem, wow, these cards are speaking for themselves with tons of crystals, tons of gems, tons of diamond, type depictions here. I can definitely see here within the gem that your marriage is one that's going to allow you to feel really special and allow you to feel like you're no longer a diamond in the rough, but you're a full-blown cut and polished gem to this person. In the ring, this promise is going to come with a big ol' ring, group number one. Okay, there's going to be a big promise ring or a big engagement ring when it comes to your marriage or before your marriage. And I do want you to also know here in the ring that this is a real commitment. This definitely reiterates that your guides in the universe are trying to say, yes, we are talking about your marriage right now. We are talking about who you're going to be with in the long term and what's going to happen in your personal life. This is a reiteration in the ring and the gem that your reading truly is about your future forever relationship and your future marriage. Next up, we have Let Magic In the Vervain. So in the Vervain, I definitely want you to understand that within your marriage, nothing is impossible. You both lift each other up and you never tell the other person that they're dreaming too big or that something that the other person wants isn't possible. In the dandelion, I can see here that there's a lot of perseverance that has brought you both to this point. And that is why you kind of like blindly just support one another, because if you can see that the other person really wants something or they're really after something, there is no point in telling them that it's not possible or that for XYZ reason they can't do it. You both have been in difficult situations where other people may have smacked down your dreams or told you that something you wanted to accomplish or achieve was too big for you to do, and you're sure as hell not going to do that to one another in your marriage. I can see here in the marshmallow that there's always like a very sweet type of energy around the two of you. And with a sweet energy, I mean the relationship dynamic is filled with sweet gestures, such as writing one another little lovey-dovey notes, such as ensuring that the other one is always kept happy when it comes to food, when it comes to beverages, like making sure that your partner is fed and vice versa. You being surprised with flowers or little gifts during the week that you didn't expect. That is one thing that I see here within the marshmallow. And in the white sage, I can see that this is a result of some past traumatic or toxic relationships and marriages. So I wouldn't be surprised, group one, if you get married or end up being in a forever relationship with someone who has been married in the past, who was in a very toxic marriage and who literally just wants to like protect you and your marriage that you have with them at all costs. I can see that here within the gem, because it just means so much to them to have finally found you, to finally be in a relationship that is worth something to them and that is healthy, supportive, and where you both respect one another. Next up, we have the eye. So in the eye, I can see that you are going to marry someone who has a lot of psychic ability and they have like an eye for detail. They're the type of person who is super detailed and always kind of knows what the next step in the relationship should be. I can see here within the torch that they're a spiritually very enlightened and evolved type of person. They have a deep sense of awareness and understanding. And because they are so quote unquote enlightened, group number one, they're the type of person who lets you have your own experiences, make your own mistakes, and go through your own journey. They're not someone who acts holier than or who acts like they're better than anyone just because they're into spirituality or they're into working with source, meditation, and so on. I can see here within the key that they always help you find a successful outcome to any issues that you may have. And the relationship dynamic is kind of traditional and old school in that sense, where you both feel as though you can't just throw a relationship away if things get difficult or if overall there is like a tough situation in the relationship and maybe you're not vibing with one another after a couple of years of being together. You actively want to work on things rather than just abandon the relationship. You are the type of person who feels like you owe it to one another. I can see here within the door that due to that, your relationship dynamic is one one that opens lots of amazing doors in society as well as in your careers, because you know that you're so focused on one another and you're focused on growing with one another and not just throwing the relationship away as soon as you hit some sort of difficult, rough patch, which happens in every relationship. This definitely opens the door to you enjoying life more and getting more out of life, because you're not spending so much time in like petty arguments or overthinking things that are really not necessarily necessary to be overthinking. So group number 1, this is the first part of your reading that I received. Now head on down into the description box or into the comment section where I have the timestamps for every zodiac sign, so you can receive the second part of your reading to figure out even more about who you'll marry, because I will be uncovering when you're going to get married, more about this person, such as, you know, their zodiac sign, letters of their name. So for even more juicy details, make sure that you go and receive the second part of your reading immediately. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you over during part 2 of your reading. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the messages from your animal spirit guides oracle cards, as well as the orange calcite. The orange calcite is an absolutely gorgeous stone. Let me show you a close-up of the crystal of your choice so you can get acquainted with its energy and its vibrations. So let's move into your reading so we can figure out everything about who you're going to get married to, how the relationship is going to be, what the dynamic in the relationship is going to be like, and all about their character traits. So first up, we've got the meerkat. In the meerkat, I can see here that they are someone who has a lot of friends and family who support them. So the person who you will end up marrying is a social butterfly. They are the type of person who gets along with everybody, no matter what their background is, and they're the type of person who has, as already mentioned, a lot of friends and family who support them. So you will have a bigger friend group and family circle automatically because of them, because they're going to want to include you into their social functions. Next up, we have the camel. So in the camel, I can see here that they're a very resourceful type of person. The person who you're going to marry is the person who uses all of the resources, is the type of person who tries everything that they can in order to get through challenges that are before you or that are within the marriage, and they can make something out of anything. So no matter how dire or difficult a situation may be, they always find a way to work through it, push through it, and get out the other end in better shape. And they use that same kind of approach when it comes to your relationship that you're going to have with them and the marriage that you're going to enjoy with one another. Even when you feel like your backs are against the wall, they always find a resourceful, fun way to get through a difficult time. Next up, we have the zebra. In the zebra, I can see here that they help you to let go of fear, and they help you to know that you're safe and protected at all times. They're the type of person that makes you feel like you can lean back, relax, enjoy, and exhale, like you don't have to pay attention to every little micro thing that is happening. They allow you to finally take a big breath, be yourself, and not have to do everything alone. If you usually have to organize everything for everyone, group number 2, do know here that you're going to marry someone who finally allows you to breathe and finally allows you to have some time off as well. I can see here within the Ten of Swords that it may be very difficult for you at first to accept. I can see that this type of relationship dynamic is maybe not one that you have experienced in the past, maybe one that you had hoped for, but due to toxic patterns that were passed down to you from your family, you have always kind of had a bad picker in love, group number 2, or maybe bad people have always chosen you. And with bad people, we're not judging exes or people who have been interested in you and not good for you, but some people are just toxic to you, and that is completely normal. So in the Ten of Swords, I see that you're a little bit panicky at first to let this person who you're ultimately going to be married to take the lead and allow you to relax. It's almost like you can't relax. It's almost like you have these trust issues that keep re-emerging that they kind of have to calmly guide you through, and they will definitely have to prove themselves before you trust them and before you give them all of your your trust, as well as you being sure that, okay, you can let your guard down. Next up, we have the Strength card reversed. So I do see in the Strength card reversed for you, group number 2, that this marriage is going to be one that is based on very strong emotional strength. But also, in a sense, in the Strength card reversed, because this card did show up reversed, again, we have this notion of you finally being able to let your guard down, to relax a little bit, and to not always have to be very watchful about every single situation in your life, because you know that your partner, that your spouse has your back. Next up, in the Nine of Swords, I see that they are definitely worried about you finding someone better. I can see that your spouse, your future spouse, is definitely someone who wants to protect the relationship at all costs, and they have most likely been cheated on in the past. So in the Ten of Swords and Nine of Swords, I can see that that is always a worry for them. Even if you're not the cheating type, group number 2, do know here that this is the type of person you don't want to give any reason to worry about whether you're faithful or not. As I can see here in the Six of Crystal, that being faithful is definitely something that makes them feel on top of the world, that makes them feel like they can trust you more than anyone in the world. So just always be very transparent and try to communicate. So if you, for example, go and hang out with friends, just let them know that you're going out. Maybe like voluntarily offer the extra information of telling them who you're going out with, just to calm their mind, because they are an overthinker. That is one thing that I see here for your future spouse, group number 2. So in order to not just leave them at home or leave them at work overthinking what you're doing or who you're with, because they don't want to encroach on your privacy, they maybe won't ask too many questions, but oh boy, will they be overthinking, group number 2. So just give them peace of mind. I know it can sometimes be difficult to remember to do so, but do your best just in order to allow them to have a deep exhale as well, and be able to rest assured that they are the only one for you. Next up, we have the mullein. So in the mullein, I can see integration into every aspect of their life. They are going to introduce you to their mom, their dad, their family members, their friends, their colleagues. I can see that they want the relationship to be super inclusive of all of the things that are important to them, of all of the most important people in their life, and they don't want to keep your relationship a secret at all. It is really super important and essential to them that your marriage works with the rest of their life and their surroundings. So integrating their relationship, your marriage, into everything that they do is an important aspect for them. I can see here in the Milky Way that they have a long-term kind of perspective about the marriage. They are not like other people their age or in the same chapter that they're in life right now. They see things from a bigger point of view. They see the big picture and how you can build a future with one another that you can both be proud of. In karma as well as the DNA, I can see that breaking ancestral traumas and bonds is a thing that they've been doing for a long time. So their parents may be divorced, okay? Your future spouse's parents, group number 2, are most likely not together or maybe in a very difficult situation. And just overall marriage as well as successful relationships may not necessarily lie in their DNA, but I see in the Strength card reversed as well as the Milky Way that they definitely want to do all that they can to change that, and these stone people confirm that with their vigilance. So do know here within your reading that a big part of who you're going to marry is the fact that they are like hell-bent on working on the relationship and making it work no matter how much time and effort that it takes. I can see here within the wolf that They instinctually know that you're meant to be, and any difficult situation isn't going to make them feel like it's all lost or like there's no point when it comes to working on the relationship. They instinctually know that you belong together, and your future spouse is never going to give up on your relationship that you have with one another. Group 2, by the way, I'll also leave the link to my online store down below in the description box. The Gentle Heart Tarot deck is actually the deck that I authored. We have a few cards in here from the Gentle Heart Tarot, so you can check that out, as well as all my crystal jewelry is from my online store as well, and you can find actual crystals there. Next up, we have the Bell. So they're the type of person who others listen to. They have very authoritative type of energy. They are most likely going to be the boss, the CEO of their own company or another company. And I can see here in the heart that they're a super affectionate person. The relationship dynamic is definitely them showing you so much love, so much affection, so much caring energy, and constantly kind of giving you reassurance about that love. Now, do they want the exact same thing back? Maybe ideally, but they understand if you're not precisely like them. They just want to ensure that every now and then you let them know that they are loved in a verbal way as well. Their love language is definitely words of affirmation as well as physical touch. Last but not least, in the empty chair, I do want you to understand here that someone is going to be leaving your life before this person comes in. So with last but not least, I mean last but not least before we move into your zodiac signs portion of your marriage prediction, where we're going to be figuring out when you're getting married. We're going to be figuring out your future spouse's zodiac sign as well as the letters of their name. So make sure that you tune into your zodiac signs portion as well. But just to finish off this first part of your prediction, group 2, do know here in the empty chair that first, someone who took up a significant portion of your life is going to leave your life for whatever reason before your future spouse comes into your life. So maybe you're in a relationship right now and you're realizing that it just isn't working in the long term, or maybe there is someone in your life who is very important, who is moving away, or who for some reason just can't be here for all that much longer before you meet your future spouse. It could be jealousy, it could be health reasons. Group number 2, that is one thing that you can pay close attention to if you're looking for the timing of when your spouse, your future spouse, is going to come into your life. So group 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you appreciate my honesty. Now scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign so we can fast forward to the second part of your marriage prediction, where we're going to get into even more details about who you're going to marry. So I'll catch you over during your zodiac signs reading. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tazama African Tarot in conjunction to the Rose Quartz. Now you may have felt intuitively drawn to your crystal, but you may have also intuitively known that this is the stone of love as well as friendships. So this is definitely a crystal that resonates really beautifully with a long-lasting marriage. But let's move into your reading to figure out all of the nitty-gritty details about who you're going to marry, group number 3. So first up, we have the King of Cups. So in the King of Cups, I can see someone who is decisive. I can see someone who is assertive, someone who is older than you, more mature than you, and has seen and experienced things in their lifetime. They're also someone who is emotionally intelligent, and in the relationship, they like to be the head of the relationship, the head of the family, so to say. Next up, we have the Ace of Wands. In the Ace of Wands, I can see that you both love to go on adventures with one another, and you're both in a situation where you love to try new things together. So your marriage is going to be filled with traveling, filled with new hobbies that you're figuring out with one another, experiencing with one another, and that you're going to take up together. So we do have a card that popped right out of the pile. Let's see what that card is. We have the Two of Cups. Cups. So in the Two of Cups, I can see that this relationship is one that is made to last forever. This is a marriage that is rooted in deep romantic chemistry and deep romantic understanding to one another. The Two of Cups is a highly favorable card when it comes to those romantic relationships. So this is definitely the universe confirming who you're going to be with and what the dynamic will be all about. So you're definitely going to challenge one another, do lots of traveling and seeing the world, while at the same time keeping things romantic, passionate, and cool. Next up, we have the White Willow. In the White Willow, I can see that a big part of your relationship is that while emotions can run high, as we have the King of Cups as well as the Two of Cups, we have a very emotional type of start to your reading. Your relationship stays firmly rooted, just as this White Willow here. It doesn't matter what type of ups or downs that you're going through. Your future marriage is one that stays strong, and you're very forgiving. So even if in an argument you say something that is below the belt, or they say something that you really didn't like, yes, emotions may run high, and it was said, but at the same time, you communicate to one another once things have cooled off, and you understand, even in the most heated situations or even in the most difficult of situations of your marriage, that you're meant to be together and that none of you are going anywhere. Next up, we have the Dandelion. So in the Dandelion, there's perseverance here. I mean, that goes without say. We just spoke about that in conjunction to the White Willow and how the White Willow represents the perseverance that you both have in order to make the marriage work. In the time, I can see that your marriage is going to be one where you both bring the best out of one another, and where you both kind of distill yourselves to those most fantastic little portions of your personality. In the Elderberry, you go through different cycles. That's one thing that is very clear here in the Elderberry. You go through different phases together. So by going through different phases, I mean in connection to the Two of Cups, sometimes you go through phases where you feel very sensual, where you feel like spending a lot of time behind closed doors, if you know what I mean, group number 3. And then you also go through phases where you're more about traveling, you're more about new hobbies that you've discovered together, you're more about doing other things. In the St. John's wort, I can also see here that they are like a light in the darkness for you. So group 3, if you struggle with seasonal depression or just some type of mental difficulty, do know here in the St. John's wort that the person who you're going to marry is like the only person who can put a smile on your face when you're going through a tough time. They're the only person who can make you change your mind about feeling down or maybe not leaving the house. They're the only person who can help you lift your depression a little bit, and who can motivate you to do something that you otherwise would not be inclined to do. In the Seven of Swords, I do want you to also understand that they have been played in the past. So the relationship dynamic is definitely them needing clarity. They need openness. They need communication with no BS, group number 3, and they want you to be honest at all times, even if it hurts. As I can see here in the Seven of Swords, that in the past, they have had people who have just told them what they wanted to hear, and they don't want that to continue moving forward. They don't like any type of deceitful situation at all. In the Five of Pentacles, they are definitely rebuilding. They're definitely in a position where they might actually even be a little bit stingy with other people in their life, group number 3, because they have been caring for others all their life. I can see that in the King of Cups. It is also important for them to now make sure that they're taking care of things such as their retirement plan, such as their plan for maybe owning their own house, owning their own vehicles, paying off leases, mortgages. And overall, in the Five of Pentacles, I can definitely see that this is maybe something that can cause a little bit of friction with people who are otherwise used to them kind of shelling out cash without thinking too much. But you're also putting a stop to that, group number 3, as in this relationship, You're the one who wears the pants financially, and you're the one who decides exactly what money is going to be spent on. In Alethea, I can see this sense of duality where you actually complement each other in the most fantastic way. So they may not be the best financially or with savings, but you're really good at that, group number 3, and vice versa. So you may, for example, be someone who is very emotional or can get emotional very quickly, whereas they're the type of person who, of course, has emotions that can run high, but they're maybe more composed in situations where you are more erratic, and again, vice versa. So you complement one another beautifully. In Agape, I can see that because you complement one another so well, you can individually learn, grow, and thrive to an extent that you wouldn't be able to in any other relationship or marriage. In the Stone, I can also see here that the marriage that you're going to be in loves routine. Now, group number 3, loving your routine, loving the fact that you have like just these things that you always do together, like for example, brunching on Saturday or going for walks on Sunday. Maybe you go to the movies every first Thursday of the month, something like that. I can see here in the Stone that this is something that keeps you really close to one another and makes your relationship so brilliant. I can see that here within the Gem, that other people are really like envious about your marriage, group number 3, because they wish that they had the same dynamic. They wish that they had the same type of fun routine that you have implemented and that kind of just effortlessly works between you and your partner. In the Ladybug, I can see that they are definitely someone who has a lot of good fortune and good luck within their life, and they're the type of person who others look up to when it comes to success. So you are going to be with someone who is very successful, which does also mean that when it comes to time, it's important for them to never waste time arguing or fighting or being petty. In the Falcon, I can see that they want to be able to take business opportunities always and immediately. So they may be checking emails or on their phone a little bit more than you want. But I gotta be honest with you, group number 3, I can't just tell you what you want to hear. Of course, to whom much is given, much is expected. So in the Falcon, do know here that they're the type of person who is very committed to their career, and they will maybe have to, every now and then, even though you're spending time together, quickly get some work deals done in order to ensure that the financial freedom continues to flourish. Then last but not least, in the Platypus, I can see that we have this reiteration of them not liking to complain or focus on petty things. They are all about living in the moment and living in a way where they focus on the good rather than the difficult. That is one thing that becomes very clear here within the Platypus, and that this animal, this beautiful spirit guide animal, stands for. So do know here that if any type of drama is happening around you, they're going to try to help you nip that straight into the bud, group number 3. So this is the first part of your reading that I received for you. Now for the second part of your marriage prediction, we are going to be figuring out the exact timing and possibly the place of where you're going to get married. We're going to be figuring out the zodiac sign of your future spouse, as well as the letters of their name. Okay, so scroll down into the description box, click your zodiac sign, or scroll into the comment section where I have pinned that comment to the top. Click your corresponding timestamp and you'll be fast forwarded to the second part of your reading, where you can receive these highly personal and accurate pieces of information that you're still missing about your future spouse and marriage. So group number 3, thank you for being here with me and for sharing this divine time and space, and I'll catch you over during your zodiac signs portion of this video. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Affirmations tarot deck as well as the Aquamarine crystal. Let's do a quick close-up of your crystal in order for you to get acquainted with its energy and vibration. The Aquamarine is a very calming and relaxing, supportive type of stone that helps you get through difficult situations. So if you've been really worried about love, or love has just not been your forte, do know that that may be why you felt drawn to the stone, and hopefully your reading will find you in a very supportive type of energy and place. Now let's move into your reading to figure out all about who you'll marry, when you're going to get married, and what the marriage is going to be like. So let's move into it. First up, we have the Magician. So group number 4, you are definitely going to get married to someone who is like a jack of all trades. They can do a little bit of everything and they can be all over the place. Okay, so the marriage is going to be filled with adventure. It's going to be filled with lots of new beginnings and experiences, and there's really never going to be a dull moment, but in a very good and fun sense, because this person pushes you out of your comfort zone and they allow you to try new things, feeling confident and feeling like, hey, I've got this. Next up, we have the World. Wow, group number 4, the World is arguably the most favorable card of the tarot, and the World definitely stands for bliss, fulfillment, and happiness. So having this whirlwind of amazing energy in your life, which is your future spouse, is definitely going to leave you feeling like you're on top of the world and like you have everything you've ever wanted in your life. So in the World, I can see that even through difficult or rough patches in your marriage, you still have this feeling of being super fortunate and like you actually don't have that much to complain about if you compare your life to what it was before your marriage. Next up, we have the Knight of Wands. So in the Knight of Wands, I can see here that you're both very outspoken, and this is something that is helpful in communication. So the Knight of Wands definitely shows me open, honest communication and a relationship dynamic that is really fun and also playful. Next up, we have the Knight of Swords. So in the Knight of Swords, I can see that honesty is something that is very important, and sometimes you can like hurt one another's feelings a little bit because you're so honest. And whenever one of you is a little butthurt, you individually, while you both understand like, okay, sometimes you can be a little direct, you can be a little hard on the other person, and then you come to apologize, to talk things out. And again, communication is really something that you're both more or less pretty good at, but at the same time, I mean, everybody gets a little butthurt about the truth every now and then. Next up, we have the Older Man. So I can see here that within your marriage, there is definitely this vibe where you have to deal with older individuals every now and then. So this older man vibe, and don't get me wrong, group number 4, this doesn't have to be your spouse at all. With dealings with older men or older individuals, I mean grandparents, I mean parents that are older, and just overall people who are a little bit more advanced in age will have an impact on your marriage in some way, shape, or form. I can see here within the casket that because you will be with this person for so long, group number 4, some people are going to go out of your life and it's going to be the end of that relationship or situation in the earthly realms. But your partner and your spouse is going to be here to support you, and you will be there to support them. Because when you're with one another for decades, it's definitely kind of something that happens eventually. And I hope you can appreciate that I'm so honest with you, group number 4, in this reading, and not just telling you what you want to hear or pre-preparing piles, skipping over difficult cards. I definitely want you to know that your marriage is going to be there for you when you're going through a tough time, when your spouse is going through something where maybe they're losing someone because someone is going out of their life. You are going to be there for them. As we did have the World card, this makes it very clear that your marriage stays intact. You have your spouse as a rock no matter what happens around you. And if there's one thing that we're all going to experience at some point, then it is the fact that we're all going to perish eventually. So don't see this as a negative thing. See this as something really positive, because when someone does perish in your life, you're not going to be alone and you're not going to have to go through it all by yourself. Moving on to a bit of a lighter topic, in the box I can see that your future spouse is someone who loves to give you gifts, okay? So their love language is gifts. Their love language is giving you lots of things that are nicely wrapped, nicely packaged. They like to surprise you, and they like to take the initiative of making the relationship fun and making the relationship feel really lighthearted. I can see here within the dagger that they help to get rid of any type of tension, any type of worries, anger, anything that you may feel very tense about when it comes to older people within your life or even their life. I can see here within the caterpillar that they are the type of person who is constantly trying to grow with you, constantly trying to level up and get to a place of more health, happiness, as well as a higher vibration overall. So they always see the bright side of life. They're the type of person who knows that the most important thing is that you have one another, and no matter what happens in the decades that you're with one another, you have one another's back, and that is all that counts. In the Ace of Cups, I can see that the romance between the two of you is definitely a new one coming into your life, group number 4. So this is not someone who is already in your life. This is not someone who you already know. The person who you're going to marry is a completely new individual popping into your life, someone who you have yet to meet. Furthermore, in the Strength card, they've been through a lot. They've had a very tumultuous upbringing and childhood. They've had a very tumultuous existence. So don't be surprised if they are super street smart. And in the dynamic of your relationship, they surprise you over and over again with just how handy they can actually be. In the Wheel of Fortune, do understand here that they are also the type of person who is intellectually on a high level. So they are smart when it comes to their education, and they always weigh their options. They know exactly when to be street smart and when to be book smart. In the Nine of Pentacles, I can also see, group number 4, that your person, your spouse, is someone who is focused on their career. They're someone who is close to reaching that next big goal. They're close to reaching that next big bag, that next big influx of cash and material prosperity. And you're definitely someone who helps support them on their journey. And they also want to see you win financially. So they will give you all of the tips that they have. They will give you all of the insights possible and try to support you in whichever way that they can when it comes to your earthly experiences, your career, and professional life. In the Comfrey, I can see here that they're always looking for ways how they can support you. They're always looking for ways how they can be there for you. And in the Chickweed, I want you to understand that this is because they love to bring fresh air into your marriage and into your relationship. As we spoke about here in the Magician, they're very fun. They're a jack of all trades. They bring a lot of adventurous energy into the relationship, and there's never a dull moment. So they want to make sure that you're never holding on to any grudges that have to do with them. And in the Reishi, I can see here that no matter what it takes, they're going to find a way to make you happy. So even if they have to like pluck the hair off of an endangered unicorn that lives in the Himalayas mountains under like a big pink rock or something like that, they will find a way to get there. They will find a way to pluck that hair, that whatever they need off of that unicorn, off of that mystical being, and they will present it to you if that is the only thing that would make you happy. That is one thing that I see in the notion of defying gravity. Last but not least, in the Plantain, they feel like humanity is just way too tame. Okay, so your future spouse is someone who is so sick of society's conventions, of society dictating so much of our lives. They're the type of person who wants to truly live like young, wild, and free, so to say. They're the type of person who doesn't like to obey rules, laws, or regulation unless they absolutely have to. And this definitely feeds into why the relationship is going to be so fun and why there's always going to be something amazing happening in your marriage. So group number 4, this is the first part of your reading that I received. However, if you want to find out the exact timing and place of your marriage, if you want to find out your future spouse's zodiac sign, as well as some letters of their name, scroll down into the description box or into the comment section where I have provided the timestamps for every sign of the zodiac, so you can click your sign and receive the second part of your marriage prediction. So I'll catch you over there. Hello, all my beautiful Aries babies, and welcome to your marriage prediction. So we're going to get straight into it so we can figure out exactly when and where you are going to get married, what your spouse's zodiac sign is going to be, so on and so forth. So first up, we have the winter solstice. So in the winter solstice, I can definitely see that you're going to get married in a place where you've been before. This is a place that you know. So think an area or a town that is close to your heart and that allows you to reflect on all of the things that you have experienced and gone through within your lifetime. I can see here within March that it may still be a little cold in the area that you live, maybe even still a little bit snowy, which makes a lot of sense here in conjunction to the winter solstice and the fact that the temperature during the point of your marriage may be a little lower than you're used to, or a little lower than what is summer in your country. I can see here within Aquarius, all my beautiful Aries babies, that you're most likely going to marry someone with strong Aquarius energy. Aquariuses are known to be very creative, inventive, as well as humanitarian. They are the type of sign who loves to stand up for the underdog and who loves for goodness as well as the right cause to take over and to win. So I can definitely see in conjunction to the winter solstice that this is someone who brings you out of your comfort zone and allows you to reflect on your experiences so far in life and how you can move forward being stronger, more independent, and better. I can see in the elderberry, all of my beautiful Aries, that you're definitely going to feel as though there are still some cycles and some phases that you're going through before you get married, as you have some growing to do before you feel ready to fully tie the knot. But I can see in the dandelion that your Aquarius partner, your Aquarius future spouse, is going to persevere and is going to give you the time that you need in order to get fully ready and prepared for the wedding. And they're definitely going to be there to support you, but also to show, to demonstrate that they're not going anywhere and that this relationship means everything to them. Moving a little further into the details, we have the manatee. Now in the manatee, I can see that they're willing to just accept you however you are. They're not wanting to change you. Your future partner and spouse is someone who definitely just appreciates you for who you are and who thinks you're perfect just as you are. In the dog, they have given themselves in the past to lots of other people. They have been faithful to other people. They have tried supporting lots of other people, and it didn't quite work out. But I can definitely see here that the situation with you is different. Rather than putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into other relationships while your marriage is in the works, or while they're in a relationship with you, they're giving you 100% of their focus, and they are not putting their attention anywhere else than on your relationship and situation. So let's figure out what letters are a part of their name. We have the letter O as well as the letter T. So allow this to be an indication or two pieces of information that can further help you discern who you are meant to marry. But we'll add a little bit more information for you, all my beautiful Aries. In the Four of Pentacles, do know here that when it comes to finances, they can be a little bit secretive, okay? They can definitely take a little bit of time to open up. You may only find out shortly before the wedding how they're actually standing financially, and this may be because they are more fortunate than they'd like to let on, or than they'd like for people to know. They of course want to get married for the right reasons. They don't want anyone to marry them just because of their money. And the Seven of Wands, I can see that they've had to fight off a lot of gold diggers in the past, all my beautiful Aries. And in order to avoid that, they just at some point just stopped sharing any type of success or financial information that goes beyond what is really necessary for another person to know. And the Queen of Cups, do understand here that they're doing so because they want to ensure that they enter relationships that last and that are with people who are genuine, who truly care about them. As I can see here in the Ace of Swords, that they have learned from their past mistakes. Okay, your future spouse, your future husband, wife, just person that you're going to marry, whoever they identify as, is definitely someone who has gone through a lot of growing pains, who has experienced a lot of learning when it comes to love, but this has helped them in their approach to getting married, and it helps them in the relationship to you. And the Seven of Swords, do understand here that because of what they've been through, they of course also want to ensure that they protect you at all times from people who are deceitful or who are just trying to be enmeshed in your marriage and relationship for reasons that aren't sincere. And the King of Pentacles, understand that the person who you're going to marry, all my beautiful Aries babies, is someone who actually financially is very well off. We have that now as the very last card, a confirmation within your reading. This person is well off. They don't want to show off. They don't want to make it obvious. So you're not going to know till a lot later in the relationship. But nevertheless, do know here in the King of Pentacles, they're a great business person, and financial security is something that is assured in this marriage. So all my beautiful Aries of the world, this is the reading that I received for the zodiac portion of your prediction. I hope that you enjoyed this reading altogether. Leave a little money bag emoji down below in the comment section to let me and everyone else know not only that you're an Aries, but that you claim your spouse with positivity. And I hope that this video was fun and insightful. Feel free to leave any other comments down below as well, of course. Thank you for spending this divine time with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming videos. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies of this world, and welcome to your marriage prediction. So I'm going to get straight into it. Lean back, relax, and enjoy the second zodiac-inspired portion of your reading. First up, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the person who you will marry has a lot of that divine feminine energy. They're very nurturing, caring, and they're great financially, okay? They want to ensure that you're set up for life. That is one thing that I see in the Queen of Pentacles. That is very important for them to ensure everything is stable when it comes to the financial aspect of your marriage. In the fourth house, I can also see here that your home, this is one of the most important things. They love to keep a beautiful home. The home that you will share with your future spouse, all my Tauruses, is going to be in immaculate condition, and it's going to be very beautifully designed as well. Next up, we have Aquarius. So the person who you're going to marry has a strong Aquarius energy. This is very freedom loving, very rebellious at times, and also really loves things that are progressive. So your house is going to be like a work of modern art. It's still going to be homey and comfortable. I see that in conjunction to the Queen of Pentacles, but it's going to have like state-of-the-art technology. It's going to have all of the fun gadgets that actually make life easier, not more complicated. Next, in the Milky Way, I can see that you will marry someone who is in it to win it, in it for the long term. In the Milky Way, I can also see that they're very interested in the galaxy and the universe and how source works. This is something that will most likely be a part of you planning your wedding. In November, I can see that for some reason there is an important celestial event going on in November that is going to inspire the date of your marriage to be during the month of November. And you're going to put that above all. You and your spouse will both agree on the fact that November is a great time for you to get married. I do also want to add some letters into your reading. We have the letter D as well as E. So all my beautiful Taurus babies, allow for these letters to be a sign of who you're going to get married to, so you can more easily discern who this person is when you're dating and when you're meeting new people. Let's figure out some more info, shall we? We have the Judge. So they may quite literally work in law. They may quite literally be a judge, all my beautiful Tauruses, but I do want you to know here in the Judge that things being done the right way and ensuring that, for example, your taxes are filed on time, that they're paid. In connectivity to the Queen of Pentacles, I definitely see here that this is something that they're going to ensure is taken care of during the entirety of your marriage. In the Empty Room, do know that they love to do things alone as well. They love to go out and do things that are connected to their hobby. So because they're a very independent person, they like to, for example, go out and buy art supplies or go for a nice drive or cruise, whatever it is that makes them feel free. This is something that they will tend to want to do alone every now and then as well. But in the Dandelion, they are the type of person who, of course, wants the marriage to work. So if you say no, if you say that you're not into it, they're definitely going to listen to you and to kind of take your feelings not just into account, but put your feelings first altogether. In the Marshmallow, do know here that your future spouse is someone who wants you to feel loved. This is someone who always likes to put on little sweet and cute gestures for you, and they will leave those gestures all around the house. As already mentioned in the 4th house, your spouse is someone who takes a lot of pride in your living situation, in your home. So this is where they're going to show how much they care about you and love you by setting your home up in a very comfortable way and in a way that works very smoothly for you in your day-to-day life. So they have a very special type of love language. Now, all of my beautiful Taurus babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a little bull emoji down below to represent. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you in one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful Geminis of the world, and welcome to the zodiac portion of your reading about who you are going to marry. So let's move straight into it, shall we? We have the Moon. First up in the Moon, I can see that the person who you're going to marry is someone who you're instinctively going to feel very connected towards, and they are going to feel the same way about you. So you're immediately going to know of one another that this is the person who you're meant to be with. This is the person who you are meant to spend the rest of your life with. So you're both going to instantly have that spark and that connection show up. In Gemini, I can see that you're going to get along beautifully with another Gemini, with someone who has strong Gemini placements in their birth chart. This energy is very communicative. It's very lively, witty, and informative, and stimulating exchanges are going to be part of your everyday life being married to this person. So them having a lot of Gemini energy means that they understand you very well. And in the 8th house, I can see that they are committed to being a Gemini powerhouse with you. So they have a very intense and emotional kind of internal life, a very intense emotional way of doing things. And you both get each other because you're very quick on an intellectual basis. You're very intelligent and you understand understand that sometimes things are happening in your head and everything's moving so quickly that the pace can be too fast for you to even communicate with your spouse, but you just get one another. That is one thing that I can see here about your spouse and your marriage. In the Knight of Swords, we have more air sign energy. The suit of swords corresponds to the element of air. In case you didn't know this, all of my beautiful Geminis, and the Knight of Swords is someone who has young, lively, youthful energy. So they're most likely around your age, and they're definitely someone who is still growing but has already accomplished a few things in their life that they're proud of. In the Wheel of Fortune, I do also see that they are often underestimated, and your marriage is maybe underestimated. So you could get married pretty soon, okay, earlier than you expected and very early on in the relationship. As in the Two of Pentacles, I do also see here that a balance between work as well as your relationship is something that you're striving for, and is definitely something that isn't the easiest thing, but through communication, through you both making it a priority, it is definitely something that is getting better and better over time, over the course of your marriage. The Page of Wands does show me here that they may also have some fire sign placements in their chart that are important to balance things out. So, for example, they may be a sun sign Gemini, just as you are, but in their moon, they may, for example, be an Aries or a Sagittarius, as I do see in the Page of Wands that this helps balance out your charts and make you like the perfect match for one another. I can see here within December that the most likely time of you tying the knot is during September. So maybe you both really love Christmas or this festive period, but maybe you just also get a great deal on a venue during the month of September. So you're deciding to put it into the month that is celebrated by many as a month of, you know, Christmas and everything that comes with Christmas. Next up, we have the rattlesnake. In the rattlesnake, I can see here that they're definitely someone who is like a healer, all my beautiful Geminis. So they may be a doctor, a nurse, just somebody who works in the health field, and they're the type of person who gets paid to renew and recuperate other people's energy and well-being. In the meerkat, I can also see that they work in a team. So this speaks even more to them being in the health field. As mentioned, a doctor usually doesn't just work alone. They often have a team. The same goes for a nurse. They're usually not just a standalone person all the time. They work with others. If they are, for example, a therapist, a psychologist, they are definitely the type of person who has a lot of friends in the same field as they are in, who they can have a very fun, active exchanges with and discuss all of the newest discoveries of their trade. So let's move into some of the letters in their name. We have the letter I as well as the letter L. So allow that to be a sign of who you're meant to be with, who you're meant to marry, all of my beautiful Gemini babies. Let's figure out where you're going to get married, just to give you a little bit of extra information about your upcoming marriage. We have the autumnal equinox as well as the wind. So it's not going to be a full-blown winter wonderland wedding. There's definitely still going to be, you know, some autumnal release type energy there. So there may still be a lot of leaves on the ground. It may be a little bit windy, a little bit cold, and not necessarily cold in an uncomfortable way, but you're not going to have a wedding where like sweat is pouring down your foreheads or anything like that. It's going to be weather that should be colder on that day because it is December, or it should be cooler because of this time of the month, but it is actually going to be a little bit warmer than expected. I can see that in the autumnal equinox, and you're going to get married in a place where there is nature, in a place where you can connect to the nature. And as I said, the climate is going to be nicer than you expected that day, depending on which area, which part of the world that you live in. So all of my beautiful Gemini babies, this is the reading that I received for your sign. I hope that you found it really insightful and that this was fun to you. Make sure that you leave a little snowflake emoji down below in the comment section to represent and to let me know that you made it to the end of your reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all my beautiful fellow Cancerians of this world, and welcome to your prediction about who you are going to marry. So I'm going to get straight into your reading so we can figure out more details about your future spouse and marriage altogether. First up, we have the Page of Cups. So in the Page of Cups, I see that you are still going to be young when you meet this person, or you're still going to feel young, right? Because the saying goes that you're only as old as you feel. So I can definitely see here that your future spouse is someone who is going to let you feel really young, vibrant, and fun, and you're going to meet them pretty early in life. So sooner rather than later, all of my beautiful Cancerians. Let's see. We have Leo. So in Leo, I can see that your future spouse has very strong fire sign placements like Leo within their birth chart. Their sun sign is most likely also going to be Leo. So in Leo, I want you to know that this energy is super flamboyant. This energy is proud, passionate, but something that people don't give Leos enough credit for is definitely also how committed that they are to their relationships. I can see here in conjunction to the moon that you're both beautiful, sensitive beings who connect over their emotions and feelings, and you will have a very open conversations with your Leo partner, your Leo spouse, and you're going to be able to talk to them in a deep and understanding manner that you haven't been able to talk to anyone prior to your marriage to them. Next up, we have the Vervain. So in the Vervain, this marriage is going to be like magic, and you're going to fall in love with them hopelessly, all my beautiful Cancerians. And in the Page of Cups, I can definitely see that this adds to the giddy type of energy that you're going to have, the young, vibrant vibes, and in the Marshmallow, of course, on a sensual nature when it comes to like your private life, when it comes to what goes on behind closed bedroom doors. You know what I mean, all my beautiful Cancerians. There's definitely going to be a lot of giving, sharing, and them trying to make sure that you are satisfied as well. They're a very selfless lover. They're a very caring person, which is exactly what you need, all of my beautiful Cancer babies. Moving further into your reading, we have the Emu. So in the Emu, I want you to know that this person brings out a more adventurous side in you. Your Leo spouse is someone who is going to stop you from just being a homebody as much as you have been, because you may be attached to your home in a way that is a little bit unhealthy. Maybe you have a bit of social anxiety, as I do see here within the Falcon, that they are going to get you to push out of that comfort zone and to commit to things that you would usually be too afraid to do. Your future spouse really does complement you in the most fantastic way, and I can see here that a wedding is going to happen most likely during the month of September. So for whatever reason you feel drawn to this month, and your partner will agree on this, all my beautiful Cancerians. Let's see where you will get married. We have childhood, so this could be a place that reminds you of your childhood, or that was an important place in your childhood. So think a town or a chapel, a spot that you feel very connected to in a very innocent way. And in dream time, I do also want you to know that this is going to be way better than you expected it to be. Your wedding day is going to be all that you've wanted and more, all my beautiful Cancerians. This is because it is going to be made up of a mixture of this childhood memory, but also you adding in new aspects and new details that just make it super dreamy. So we have the letters N, U, as well as E. So allow for those to be signs and indicators about who you are going to marry. I'll leave those right here for you to take with you, for you to write down, for you to take note of. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, this is the zodiac portion that I received for you about who you're going to marry. I hope that this gave you tons of added information about your wedding and how your marriage is going to be, who you're going to get married to, what their personality is like. Let me know down below by leaving a lion emoji in the comment section to represent. Thank you for being here and spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Leos of the world, and welcome to the zodiac portion of your reading, where we're going to find out more details about your future spouse, such as their zodiac signs, such as when your wedding is going to be, as well as letters of their name. So stay seated if you want to find out more. First up, in Eros, I can definitely see here that your romantic life is one that is not even comparable to other marriages. I can see that touch, as well as just words of affirmation, that is definitely part of the love language here in your future marriage. And behind closed bedroom doors, there's a lot going on that doesn't meet the eye, all my beautiful Leos. So this is definitely something that a lot of people wish that they had. Next up, we have Gemini. So in Gemini, I can see here that part of your future spouse's birth chart definitely has to do with Gemini. And then we also have the 12th house, which stands for an area of your life that feels overwhelming, that kind of yields to a greater cause or power. So when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to what is hidden from everybody else, I definitely see here that your future spouse has a lot of this Gemini air sign energy. But again, this is what does not meet the eye. Let's see what they are in their sun sign. We have Venus. So for one, they are a very attractive person. The person who you're going to get married to, all my beautiful Leos, is definitely someone who's giving you a bit of a run for your money. You're a very good looking couple. And then we have Libra. So again, air sign energy, but Libra is their sun sign. And in Libra, I can see that they're a very diplomatic and gracious type of person. They're constantly seeking harmony and balance in their relationship. So the person who you will marry is definitely someone who isn't about the drama, all my beautiful Leos. And they also don't mind making you kind of like the star of the show or the most important person in the relationship. In the Eight of Wands, do know here that they're not afraid to take on new adventures, and they love when things move like quickly. So you're most likely going to get married more quickly than you expected, as your Libra spouse is going to talk you into it. Next up, we have January. So we have a winter wedding. Well, depends where you live, right? If you live south of the equator, then this may actually be a summer wedding, but do allow January to be an indication for when the wedding is going to take place and when you're going to find that you actually want to end up tying the knot. In the new moon, I can see that there is a very special new moon upon which you would like to tie the knot, and during which you would like to make this promise to one another to be there for one another through good times and bad times. So it may be that there is a particular blue moon during which you want to get married. There is some sort of celestial event where you both agree that it's worth having your marriage and tying the knot in January for. In the volcano, I can also see here that your marriage is going to be full of different explosions of all kinds. So it could be emotionally, it could also be that from one day to the next, everything changes. You pack up your bags and you move to another country together. I can definitely see in the volcano that volatility is something that you're both dealing with in this marriage. In the platypus, you're not complainers, and that's why you go together so well, all of my beautiful Leo babies. Because you and your spouse both want the same thing, and you both understand that making decisions impulsively, of course there can be repercussions, but you're never afraid. This is something that you can really connect with your spouse on. And I can see here in the mouse that paying attention to detail, even when things are moving very quickly, this is something that you're both very capable of doing. Now let's figure out exactly what letters are a part of your spouse's name. We have the letter P as well as O, so allow that to be a further indication of who your spouse is and who you're going to marry. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, this is the second part to your reading that I received. I hope that it gave you extra clarity. Let me know down below by leaving a unicorn emoji in the description box to represent. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Virgo babies of this world, and welcome to your zodiac signs marriage prediction. So I want to get straight into it, while all you need to do is lean back and enjoy the second part of your reading. First up, we have Capricorn. So all of my beautiful Virgos, you are going to get married to a fellow earth sign, and in Capricorn, I can see that this person is more serious than you are. They are definitely someone who is flourishing in their career, who flourishes materially. They're very hardworking, and I can see that you having earth sign energy definitely gives you a lot of that security that you love and need. In the elderberry, I can see that you both go through different phases and cycles of just being an earth sign, and you get one another. On that level, you vibe in a way that no other sign could vibe with you, all my beautiful Virgo babies. In the mullein, I can see that because you understand each other so well, it is easy for you to guess what your partner or future spouse needs or wants at any given point in time or during any given moment. So do know that within your reading so far, we have this notion of you connecting to another earth sign more deeply than you ever could, as well as you both being hardworking, you both being driven and ambitious, which definitely shows that your marriage is going to be one that a lot of people envy, especially people who put a lot of value and worth onto earthly abundance, because you're definitely going to be killing it when it comes to the finances. In the manatee, I can see here that you both are very accepting of situations as they are, and instead of fighting difficulties, you just kind of let them happen. You kind of observe together, but communication is something that could be a little bit better in this marriage, but you're here for a reason, my beautiful Virgos, so definitely take this as a little piece of advice moving forward. Next, in the emu, I do want you to understand here that your marriage is filled with good times and new adventures, while your Capricorn spouse is definitely someone who is maybe a little bit more set in their ways. As a Virgo, you're a bit more open-minded to trying new things. And I do see within the panda that because you're like a sacred space for your future spouse, because you are literally their safe space, they are okay to follow you to new locations, both geographically as well as spiritually. They're okay with trying things that are usually very out of their comfort zone, as long as it's with you, because you are like their rock. You're like that one person that gives them the security that they need. I can see that you're going to get married during the month of August. All my beautiful Virgos, you and your future spouse, you both agree on that, and this is a month that means a lot to you and the person you're going to marry. In the egg, we have success assured with good plans and hard work. And this is something that you both thrive on. Your marriage and your life together will be very organized. I can see in the egg that there's a lot of success there. Your plans are working out for you. Your hard work pays off because you both really know how to get results. You're both not talkers. You're people who actually walk their talk and who actually put hard work behind whatever it is that they do. In the lotus flower, you will get married near the water. You will get married with a lot of floral accessories there at your wedding. And I see here in the lotus flower that You may think that you knew yourself before you got married, but you're going to know each other on so much of a deeper level once you actually tie the knot. And lastly, within the cave, I can see here that again, this notion is being reconfirmed that we spoke about in the panda of you being a sanctuary and a safe space for your spouse, making them feel open to communicate everything. So in my little Bow Life Brands pouch, I have all of the letters so we can figure out exactly what letters are going to be a part of their name. So we have the letters B as well as Q, all of my beautiful Virgos. I'll leave those right here for you to take in. So this is the reading that I received for your zodiac sign in regards to who you're going to marry. I hope that you loved the added detail and this very personal touch to your reading. Let me know down below, leaving a panda emoji in the comment section to represent and to let me and others know that you made it to the end of the second part of your prediction. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my beautiful Libra babies, and welcome to your zodiac sign's marriage prediction. So I'm going to get straight into it. Just lean back, relax, and enjoy as we figure out exactly who you are going to marry, when you're going to marry them, all of the details in between. So first up, we have the whale. So in the whale, I can definitely see that you're going to marry someone who allows you to overcome what was an obstacle before. So maybe thinking of starting a family or marriage wasn't necessarily something that you've always wanted, but the person who you're going to marry is going to allow you to overcome those fears. In the waterfall, I can see that the marriage is going to happen very effortlessly and because you feel safe within this person's surroundings. So everything is going to be able to flow beautifully for you and your marriage. So let's figure out what their zodiac sign will be. Okay, we have Libra. The strong Libra energy could be coming from you, but I definitely see this as an indicator that the person who you are going to marry is a Libra as well and has those qualities that are diplomatic, that are gracious, and this quality of seeking harmony and balance within the relationship. So you're not people who argue a lot. Your marriage is going to be filled with a lot of fun times, with a lot of harmonious encounters and love. In the bowl, I also see that you're going to get married to someone who comes with a lot of material wealth. There will be plenty material things within the marriage. Not that that's the most important thing. We're not saying that at all. But nevertheless, you know, it's always nicer to be sad or go through difficulties in a nice environment rather than be sad and be broke as well. Next up, we have the throne. The person who you're going to marry is someone in a position of authority. They are a CEO, they are the boss, they're the type of person that other people look up to. They enter a room and everybody notices their energy. Everybody notices that there's something about them that just kind of resonates on an authoritative level, that resonates with assertion. Next, we have the kiwi. In the kiwi, I can see that you're definitely being called to do a walking meditation each day for the next week. Don't ask me why your spirits are randomly putting that in here for you, all my beautiful Libras, but if you've been a little bit all over the place when it comes to love, when it comes to worrying about getting married in the future, that can definitely help you ease some tension. In the meerkat, I also want you to know, in conjunction to the throne, that the person who you're going to marry gets a lot of support from a trusted group of like-minded people. So they are definitely very successful when it comes to their business. They're successful in their personal life, and a lot of people support them and their cause. In the mountain goat, that can make them a little bit stubborn at times, okay? So that can definitely make them feel like they have a lot of say in the marriage as well, but then when you like show them who is actually the boss as well within the marriage, then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, right, we are a team here and I'm not the boss in the marriage as I am outside of the marriage. But do know here within the ladybug that this is not that big of a deal, because your life is filled with a lot of prosperity, both in the earthly realms when it comes to finances, material things, but also time and health. That is one thing that I can see here in the ladybug, where you both are able to thrive and where you're both able to really just enjoy the fruit of your labor. We have January next. So in January, I can see that this is when you're going to get married. It's going to be a month that in some countries is rather cold, but depending on where you live, January may be a little bit milder. It may actually be a perfect month to have a special type of wedding, an unconventional type of wedding. I can see here in the King of Pentacles that it could also be a destination wedding that you're doing in January, because it makes it a lot more affordable for friends and family. And in the Fool, it is definitely a wedding that nobody around you has done before. So your wedding is going to be one of a kind. It's going to be very special, and it's going to be memorable for everybody who is involved and for everybody who is invited and manages to come. In the lightning, I can see that around the time of your wedding, there will be some lightning in the sky, which definitely shows that some powers are here, that your guides as well as the universe is present during the time of you tying the knot. And in the full moon, I can see that you're most likely also going to tie the knot around the full moon. And there may be a very special full moon in January that you want to get married around, which is why you're even planning your wedding in January. So let's move into the different letters that are a part of your spouse's name. We have the letter I as well as the letter H, all of my beautiful Libras. So I hope that this gives you added clarity about who you will end up marrying. Let me know down below in the comment section if you enjoyed this two-part approach, if you found it fun, as well as what you liked most about this sort of reading. Also, feel free to leave a little flamingo emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end. Thank you so much for being a part of this divine time and space. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Scorpios of this world, and welcome to your zodiac sign's marriage prediction. So I'm going to get straight into it so we can figure out exactly during what month of the year you're getting married, what zodiac sign you're getting married to, and also some letters within their name. We have September. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, for some reason you and your spouse find that September is the perfect month for you to get married in. So you both mutually agree that September is the month to tie the knot. I can see here within the fairies and earth magic that for some reason your venue is just going to be the most magical during the month of September, and maybe also a really great deal then at the same time. In dawn, I do want you to know here that where the light of the sun touches that venue where you're going to get married, it is like the most magical and beautiful in the morning. It's going to feel like a new beginning. It's going to feel like you can both really leave your pasts behind and enjoy this fresh start in your marriage. Furthermore, within dance, I can see that your wedding is going to be filled with dancing, celebration, people letting loose, and everybody being very excited to be there, to be a part of your wedding. Let's figure out exactly what letters are a part of your spouse's name. So we have the letter R as well as T. There we go. So these are further indicators about who you're going to marry. All of my beautiful Scorpio babies, allow these to be signs and symbols that you can refer to while dating. Next we have a Libra. So you are going to get married to a Libra, an air sign that is very diplomatic, gracious, caring, seeks harmony as well as balance within their relationships. And I can see here that another part of their birth chart is Gemini. So Libra and Gemini energy, these are both air signs actually, and these air signs are very communicative, witty, very quick. So as a Scorpio, this is a great spouse for you to have, as they're most likely in their sun sign a Libra and Gemini in their moon sign, as you're the type of person who is a little bit more grounded, a little bit more rooted, and they are a great complement to these types of characteristics within you. In the prayer, I can see that they're the person that you have been hoping and wishing for a very long time. I hope the word prayer isn't too triggering for any of you beautiful Scorpio babies out there. And I do also see here within the fault line that you're going to make a distinction between your life with your spouse, okay, and your life before your spouse. It's going to be like day and night. In the Bardo, leaving everything behind from your past, this is something that comes pretty easily to you, as I can see here in the Nectar, that the new life that you're attracting with your spouse is something that you want so much more of, and that feels like a really right new beginning, a new beginning that you can feel secure in. I can see here within the Cave that your future marriage, your future spouse, it's like a sanctuary to you. To you, it's like you finally found your safe space and you finally found a place that you can call home. So all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, this is the Zodiac inspired portion of your reading that I received for you. I hope you found it insightful and that you liked my honesty. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a little Scorpio emoji down there to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading. Thank you for sharing this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to your zodiac signs portion of your prediction, where we're going to find out all of the details about who you are going to get married to, when you're going to get married to them, all the details of the wedding, as well as some letters of their name. So first up, we have the Nectar. So in the Nectar, I can see here for you that you're currently attracting that future spouse of yours. They find you very attractive, both physically as well as emotionally, and they just cannot get enough of you, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies. So keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. Next up, we have Vesta. So in Vesta, I can see here that they definitely find you to be a god or a goddess, okay? They put you on a pedestal and they look up to you in a way that shows that they just sincerely love you more than they've ever loved before. And I can see here in the Taurus, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, that you are attracting someone with strong Taurus energy. So this Taurus energy is one that is very abundant. This Taurus energy is one that is productive, rich, and yes, I said rich, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, rich in every sense of the way spiritually, but also with deep pockets. And they're the type of person who wants to provide for you, who wants to protect you and be there for you. Moving further into your reading in the Village, I do also want you to understand here that your wedding is going to be like inviting a whole village. Okay, there are a lot of people who will be there, all my beautiful Sagittariuses, and you're going to feel as though it's really emerging of two families into like one big village, into one big village family. You know what I mean. You're going to have all of the most important people in your life at the wedding. Everybody's going to give you their blessing, and it's just overall going to be a very beautiful scenario. I can see here in December that the most likely month for you to get married is December. So for whatever reason, December just strikes you as the right time. It may be that there's some type of important celestial event going on there where you want to focus on getting married in December. In the Platypus, I can also see that you don't want to focus on what anyone else may think about your marriage month, because everything in your lives is going to be unconventional. So of course the day of your wedding is going to follow, because usually people get married more during summer months, but I see that you're definitely inclined to get married during the month of December for a particular reason. In the meerkat, I can see here that you have the support of literally everyone, of family, friends, co-workers, and your marriage starts on an amazing note, on a very effortless note, where you feel like, wow, everyone is rooting for us and we have an amazing support system. In the winter solstice, again, you are doing things in an unconventional way, and I can see that December just seems like the right time for you to get married upon, well, after a lot of deep reflection. In the eagle, I do also see here that your friends, family members, they all agree, and they all simply want you to be happy with one another, so they're not going to get in the way by talking any smack about the date that you've chosen. So when it comes to letters of your name, well, their name, we have the letter C as well as E. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, the letters C and E, you have further information about who you're going to end up marrying. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, I hope that you enjoyed this second super personalized part of your reading. Let me know down below by leaving a flame emoji in the comment section. Thank you for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Capricorn babies, and welcome to your marriage prediction, where we will find out exactly what zodiac sign you're going to get married to, what the wedding is going to be like, and all of the little details in between. First up, we have the Bardo. So I can see that the wedding is going to be a very unconventional one, all my beautiful Capricorn babies, and you're only going to invite people who you truly care about. As I can see here within the storm, that you're trying to avoid drama, you're trying to avoid any type of negative energy or evil eyes at your wedding, which I of course get, all my beautiful Capricorns, and you as well as your future spouse are in agreement that it's better to not invite so many people, but make sure that who you do invite truly supports your marriage and is truly there for you when you need them, because having a big wedding is definitely something that a lot of people do to please others rather than to truly please themselves in their marriage. Next, we have Libra. So with strong Libra energy, of course, the conclusion is that you're going to get married to someone who is a Libra, all of my beautiful Capricorn babies. Libras are people who are diplomatic, gracious, who love harmony in their relationships. They're not argumentative, and they hate having fights with their spouses or significant others. So this is definitely a great person for you to be with, as they're also adaptable, very versatile, and they complement your Capricorn energy beautifully. In the Temperance card, I can see that they're definitely also someone who doesn't like to drink, who doesn't smoke, who doesn't use any substances. They're maybe even barely going to be like a coffee drinker, as I can see here in the Four of Swords, that they're all about meditation. They're all about being high on life and on truly experiencing. And I know the high on life quote may sound very corny and cheesy, but do know, all my beautiful Capricorns, that being with someone who has so much clarity and who doesn't just try to numb their feelings all the time, this is a great relationship to be in, especially during the hard times, because you're not talking to someone who is irrational. Next up, for the letters in their name, we have the letter D as well as I. So these are further pieces of information for you to take along your journey, just in order to have that extra reassurance when you meet someone that they are really for you, that you're really going to marry them. In the Panda, I can see here that they love to create these little sacred spaces in your home or in the workplace. So a sacred space to them means taking really good care of the relationship with you, of the marriage with you, and also ensuring that your home always looks really good. When it comes to their professional life, it is also really important for them to keep their workspace clean, to keep their environment clean, and to stay in a good space with all of their co-workers. The mountain goat does show me here that when something is out of balance in their life, they feel a need to correct it. Libras are notorious for like constantly trying to correct course, constantly trying to balance the scale, and this is definitely something that I can see here as an indication, as a further indication that you are going to marry a Libra. Now, next up, we have the Mystic. This person is not going to just put it all out immediately. Even getting to know them will be a slow process. They're not going to want to be intimate super quickly or anything like that. And I can see here within the Siren that they don't want to give it all up or show who they truly are so quickly, because their energy is sacred to them. As I already spoke to you about in Temperance, all my beautiful Capricorns, they're someone who doesn't like to take any type of substances. They don't like any mind-altering things to be a part of their life. So their energy is everything. Their body is a temple, and they treat it as such. In November, I can see that you're most likely going to tie the knot during the month of November, as for some reason you both feel inclined to plan your wedding during this beautiful mystical month. So all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, I hope that this reading resonated with you and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a butterfly emoji there. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you in one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, and welcome to your marriage prediction. So I'm going to get straight into it. Lean back, relax, and enjoy. We'll start off with the juiciest of all of the details. We're going to find out exactly what sign you'll get married to. We have Taurus. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the yin to your yang. This is the moon to your sun. Your Taurus partner is someone who is dependable, someone who is rich, productive, relaxed, and in a way very slow. So as an Aquarius, you have a lot going on. You're witty, you're communicative, you're definitely someone who is on the pulse of what's going on in this world. And the Taurus spouse that you will have is a great addition to that, is a great balancing factor. This is why your marriage is going to work. So as an air sign, you're someone who is great at staying in the loop, and Taurus as an earth sign is great at being there for you and being very dependable. And the Queen of Wands, I can definitely see here that you both create a great combination of being adventurous yet at the same time enjoying life, loving to figure out what's new in the world while still keeping your marriage a sacred space to have fun in and to be intimate in. And the Knight of Wands, I can also see here that a lot of fire sign energy is present within this person's birth chart, and they're the type of person who, yes, has stable and dependable Taurus energy, but they're a lot more outgoing than the typical Taurus. In the Chariot, I do want you to know that that is exactly why you vibe so well in the Chariot. Also shows me here that you're going to be pushing in the same direction. So you both have the same values, you both have the same goals that you're working towards. And this is definitely something that keeps the marriage in a very healthy spot, because you don't have to guess what the other person is thinking. You already know. I can see in June that you're going to get married during the month of June, all my beautiful Aquarius babies. For whatever reason, June is that sacred month where you both feel like, yes, this is the right time for us to tie the knot. This is the right time for us to make it official. In the Platypus, I do also see here that your spouse is someone who constantly is going to remind you to just focus your intention on the blessings in your life and to stop complaining. So whenever you're going through a phase of feeling low or a feeling like nothing is going the way you want it to, your future spouse, your marriage is going to help you get out of that difficult spot. In the Boar, also known as the Pig, I can see here that your spouse, your Taurus spouse, is going to help you face your problems head on with confidence and courage. So rather than kind of trying to fade into the background and not deal with things that you really should be dealing with, they're going to give you the courage to actually face things, and you will emerge victoriously because you know that you have someone who's got your back like your favorite sweater, who is there for you no matter what, and who is pushing you to be successful. They're not pushing you to face your fears because they want to see you be scared and lose, or in any way have to face more difficulty than necessary. They're pushing you to face your fears because they want you to win. And knowing that is definitely giving you a shift in perspective that we can see here within the Milky Way. All of my beautiful Aquarius babies, the Milky Way does show me that your spouse is going to completely change your worldview. So the way that you think of the world right now is just going to be so different once you're married to this perfect person, well, perfect for you. And I can see here that music is a big part of how you connect. So you both have a similar taste in music. You both love one another's playlists. You may even make playlists for one another, like really cute things like that. Making music together is another thing that I can see here that creates a lot of harmony in your future marriage and is something that you both love to do. It's like you already look forward to listening to music together or watching music videos with one another. Next up, in the Knight of Swords, open communication, that is important. But in the Knight of Swords, I can definitely see that all my beautiful Aquarius babies, sometimes you can hurt your sensitive Taurus spouse's feelings with your words, so be careful how you use them. In the King of Pentacles, I see that your Taurus spouse is someone who is focused on the earthly realms, who is focused on making money, on creating financial security and stability, and you really appreciate them for that, and this is something that they really thrive in. So providing for you and creating a stable environment for you to be able to be a bit more artsy and to have, you know, your Aquarius independent time to yourself is something that means a lot to them and is important. So we have the letters L, O, as well as Y. Let these be indicators about who your future spouse is, what type of letters are in their name, both their first, middle, and last name, and allow this to be a type of divine guidance that can help you feel reassured when you're meeting people on a romantic basis. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the second part of your two-part marriage prediction. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little cat emoji down below in the comment section because we have this little kitten here in the Queen of Wands, and as an Aquarius, you're fiercely independent, so I feel like the cat emoji really resonates with you. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me within your reading. Make sure that you stay safe, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, all of my beautiful Pisces babies, and welcome to the second part of your marriage prediction, where we're going to figure out exactly who you're going to marry, as in, you know, their zodiac sign, what time of the year you're going to tie the knot, and where you will be getting married. So first up, we have the wind. So in the wind, I can see that the day of your marriage is going to be rather windy. It's going to feel as though the weather is changeable, and I can see here in April that because you're getting married during the month of April, there's definitely a little bit of this up and down with the weather, of not knowing precisely whether it will work out or not. But nevertheless, April is such a beautiful month of growth that you still agree with your spouse that that is exactly when you have to get married. In music, I can see that that is going to be the best part of your wedding, the music. You both have like impeccable taste in music, and this is something that a lot of people are going to remember. A lot of people who have attended the wedding are just going to rave about how awesome the music was. In Pluto, I can see here that you're taking big leaps forward with this marriage, and it's definitely going to inspire you to be the better version, the highest version of yourself. And in Virgo, I can see that your spouse is a Virgo, all my beautiful Pisces. Your spouse has this strong Virgo energy in their birth chart, and this energy is very dutiful, hesitant, humble, and they're very diligent. So your Virgo partner is definitely a bit of a perfectionist. They are someone who wants to do everything perfectly right, which is most likely also why your wedding is one that will be so memorable to other people. Next up, in the Nine of Pentacles, I can also see here that the wedding is going to be very costly, but your Virgo partner has that covered. They have a plan figured out on how that's not going to affect your marriage, as I can see here in the Ten of Cups, that they know that most couples, when they get married, start off a marriage in in debt or in financial crisis because they go way overboard with their wedding or they don't plan properly financially, but your Virgo spouse is not going to allow that to happen, all of my beautiful Pisces. So you really have an amazing person that you're going to marry that's just waiting for you to meet them, really. In the Empress, I do also see that starting a family is something that you're both interested in sooner rather than later, and fertility is something that will work pretty well and easily in your marriage. And the Lovers, you both support one another. This is just such a cute card. I love the Lovers card, and it is definitely a reiteration by your spirit guides and the universe that you are going to be with this beautiful Virgo person that just fulfills you so deeply, makes you feel so loved, and allows you to feel like you have truly found that soulmate that you've always wanted, always needed, and always craved to have in your life. In the Fog, I see that at first this isn't going to be 100% clear. At first you're going to not 100% know whether what is going to be your future spouse is standing before you. So it's going to be like a gradual understanding that this person is for you. It's not going to be just this crazy love at first sight that you see in movies. And I hope that you can appreciate my honesty, all my beautiful Pisces, because I don't just want to tell you what you want to hear. I want to ensure that I'm being 100% honest with you so you can make the most use out of this reading. Next up, we have the Cave. So in the Cave, I see that opening up to your future spouse gradually and finding them as a type of sanctuary, that is what is really going to seal the deal for you. The fact that you feel safe with your future spouse, that they make you feel heard, that they make you feel appreciated, that is exactly what you need in order to know that, okay, this is the right person for me. I see that here in conjunction to the Fog. So for letters, we have the letter W, we have the letter E 2 times. So they may have 2 E's within their name. That is like a very prominent letter that can allow you to understand who your future spouse is. If you're currently dating, this is an indication that will be useful to you. So all of my beautiful Pisces babies of this world, I hope that you enjoyed this highly personalized second part of your reading. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a little dog emoji there to let me and others know that you made it to the end. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions.